Hey guys, it's Nina. So back with another little quick video. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Even if you're not a subscriber and you decided to take the time to watch my little old videos, I truly appreciate you and the time that you took to watch my videos. I know Dating a Mama's Boy with a Narcissist Mom Part 1 and 2 was like a little all over the place. And some people don't even realize there's a 1 to it, but there's like a 1 to a 2. But with that being said, this is just a follow up video. This is like rolling into like 2 years later and like with a fresh mind, with a fresh mind. Not really holding on to anything anymore. Any, anger, resentment, because that does start to take play, because the person that you with, you expect them to be there for you. You expect them to have your back. You expect them to take up for you, and in the end you're like fighting for them, but like you expect them to fight for you. So with that being said, with a fresh pair of eyes and a fresh mind, and lately I've just been getting so many like views on these two videos, and I don't know, like for a while those videos were dead, nobody were watching them, but it's a thing and it's a real thing out here, and you definitely feel alone, especially if you don't have like a good supportive family unit when you're going through it. You just don't know what it is. So I just wanted to do like I said, a follow up video. And if you haven't watched those videos, please do. But for those that are experience something like this, and the reason why I'm looking down at my phone is because I responded to someone that was going through a certain situation, and my response were like my key points that I've learned from the experience alone. So rather it be like, because it could be your mother-in-law. I felt like that was my mother-in-law. I was dating him going on 5 6 years, like going on 6 years. So to me, I've been around him that long. Common law, I mean, technically that's marriage. So I've been around him that long. So it was like having a mother-in-law and the things that I had to deal with. I can only imagine people that are stuck with, toxic in-laws. So I feel like this video also plays in that category. But with that being said, if you don't know what happened, I'm basically dating a guy that was like a mama's boy with a controlling mom. But the crazy thing was, he had two parents in the household. He had a mom, he had a dad. His dad basically didn't have a voice. She ran the household. She was the man of the house. Where she say goes, and anybody that steps foot in that household, you play along or you're disposable. Or she's gonna just give you a hard time until you decide, all right, enough is enough. She's gonna just that's just that. And there was so many red flags in the beginning that I think I just like overlooked, because overall he was a nice individual, you know what I mean? She did raise him to be a good man, but now that I look back at it, she raised him to be like her good man. Like I don't think she wants anybody else to actually take any part, with what she raised. And that's another thing. Like there's a such thing as mom and son incest. Like of course they're not gonna take it to the physical level, but the emotional level is there. The emotional level is there. Like that's basically her man, you know what I mean? And if you're gonna date him, you gotta date her, and it's gonna be by her circumstances, her rules, because he doesn't know how to say no, or he doesn't know how to be the adult him. And there's a such thing as, we all have been children once in a lifetime. So there's a such thing as having a child relationship with your parent, and there's a such thing as having an adult relationship with your parent. Those are two separate things. But sometimes it doesn't tend to cross over, especially with narcissist parents or controlling parents. It doesn't cross over because they still want control. So why would they dare give you any respect as an adult? Because when you're giving someone respect as an adult, you're trusting you did your job as a parent, and they will make the proper decisions on their own. And even if they don't, they have to learn from their own mistakes. You did what you had to do to a certain point, and you now pass the torch on to them to do what they choose to see fit in their lives. Yes, you can always get advice, but demanding things is a whole nother situation. So just because a child is your child and you gave birth and brought them into this world, technically they're God's children. But if you brought them into this world the same way demand respect, you should give respect to your children as well. Like I'm really big on that. So yeah, so as I said to say, I just want to go back on some key points, and not shouting anybody out, but I just felt like the key points that I gave her would be great key points for anybody. in the future. And now that I'm looking back at the entire situation, it was a fight I never was going to win. And I'm going to tell you why it was a fight I was never going to win. In my experience, that situation probably wouldn't have got any better. It actually was getting worse. Actually, as time was going on, it was getting worse because I think she realized, like, all right, time, they're together longer. So there's going to become a time where now they got to take it up a notch. Maybe they're going to get married. Maybe they're going to have a kid now. And this girl is going to be here. But she does not listen to me. I cannot control her. If I can't control her, she's playing a part with the way I control my son. She's not just, you know what I mean, getting on the carousel and going around and following everybody else. She's not doing that. She's going the opposite way and it's not working for me. So, it was her way or pretty much the highway. And that tug of war definitely put stress on the man in the middle. The son is going to put stress on him, and he's so easy. It's so much easier to please his mom because she raised him. So it's so much easier, and these men, they have been trained from birth. I'm trying to remember what I wrote. They have been trained from birth, from the time they came out. This is all they know. This is the person that they went to. This is their go-to person. This is the person that taught them to walk, talk, eat, read, whatever it is that they needed to do in life. This is the person that taught them that. This is the first person that showed them love, human connection. So that's big. Like that's a big thing for them. And some men just don't know how to detach from them. Like, you can love on your child. There's nothing wrong. You're supposed to love on your children. But sometimes there's an unhealthy attachment that comes to play after a certain age. You know what I mean? And some mothers, they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. They like that unhealthy attachment because that way they can keep control and make decisions on their adult children's choices in life. And that's just not okay. But if you're ever in a situation like this, I honestly feel like this is a fight that I never was going to win. And I wish somebody would have told me I never was going to win this fight because I tried. I gave a lot of my time and effort towards that situation that I wish I can get back. Sorry, guys, I'm talking with my hands, but I wish I could get that time back, but I can't, and I'm no longer dwelling on it. Lord knows, I've definitely have moved on looking back. And the fact that they've been trained from birth, that's one thing against you. That's already one strike against you. They've been trained from birth. They would never see any different than what their mom is telling them, even if they witnessed it with their own eyes. You know what I mean? Like, the mother can be telling them, oh, the sky is yellow. And they're like, Mom, but it looked blue to me. And she's like, no, I'm telling you, it's yellow. It's yellow. Would I ever lie to you? Would I ever tell you wrong? I'm going to show you the right way. If it's telling you it's yellow, it may look blue in your eyes. But if I'm telling you it's yellow, it's yellow. And they're going to go with what that mama said. Because guess what? She trained that person. You know what I mean? That's the person that taught them everything they know. So they're going to believe. So it's easy to manipulate them, and it's easy to get them to do things that you want them to do. It's just easy. And when that happens, they tend to revert back to the little boy, that they once raised, to a child. Like, it would happen before my eyes. Like, when we were in the privacy of just me and him, he would act like a man. He had to be in that man role. But, like, as soon as we were surrounded around her, he reverted back to a child right before my eyes. And it was like, for me, I grew up in a toxic environment, and I'll upload a video about that. But for me, I'm always on protection mode. So even if it's not for me, I'm analyzing every situation around me. So I'm automatically, this is the person that I love. This is the person that I'm with. So I'm automatically on protection mode, and I want to protect him too. But you're not realizing that they don't want to be protected from their own family. This is what they're used to. This is, it is what it is. You can't tell them no different than what, they were brought up to see. Because you the person from the outside looking in. You know what I mean? They're a unit within themselves. So, no matter what you say, it's not going to change anything. And they, like I said, they haven't established that adult relationship. I'm just trying to skip through because it was kind of long. I remember one time my ex telling me that. That's where I get that from. Telling me, I was telling him something, and he was like, my mother would never steer me wrong. That's exactly his words, which can be confusing with controlling. It's not about her. It's the controlling aspect of the parent wanting them to do things their way. It has nothing to do with if a parent's going to steer you wrong, because it's not about them steering you wrong. They could possibly steer you wrong if they want things done their way. You know what I mean? And they want the decision made how they want the decision made. You know what I mean? She wanted to choose his wife for him, basically. You know what I mean? And that person had to become her best friend. She manipulated his mind to tell him that he can't marry a woman that's not her best friend. Her best friend? Who's supposed to be her best friend? Like, I'm confused about that. You're not supposed to be best friends with your mother-in-law. Yes, you're family now. You become family, but I don't know about that bestie type stuff, because I feel like she, in my case, the bestie type stuff in the beginning, that's how she was willing me in to get you to trust her. And a lot of mothers-in-laws, not even if they're not even if they're not narcissists, that's the stuff that they do. They will you in. They very friendly, very nice, and that's all the trusting aspect of it. Narcissists too. There's all the trusting aspect of it, because I couldn't believe how nice she was. And this is how I figured out, like, she's a narcissist, because once in the blue she'd be very mean and nasty. So it was a manipulation game, on top of that. But that kind woman was nothing but Satan. That was nothing but Satan, and that's that. What else? And another thing is, like, another reason why they're overbearing and demanding and constantly calling, showing up when unannounced. That's because they just want to make sure they have control, and they want to make sure that nothing's being pulled from up under them where they can no longer have control. They don't want to lose control. The goal is to always have control, and to call the shots. To call the shots. Like, how dare another woman come around and try to call the shots? I've been calling the shots this entire time. And usually, sometimes, this is usually a single household situation, but this can happen in a two family parent situation if the father does not have a backbone, if the husband does not have a backbone. I've watched her talk to him any old way, and I even discussed that with my ex at the time. Like, that's not okay. I would never talk to you that way. Like, I don't know why she think that's okay. It's like belittling. It's just like, that's not love. Like, so yeah, so that's definitely a thing. And also, you would never be able to really trust your significant other, because their bond is so great that anything you ever tell your significant other, best to believe he's pillow talking it back to his mom. That definitely pillow talking it back in the mom, back to his mom. So you really need to tread lightly about what you say, because it's gonna get back to her, and vice versa. Because, to be honest with you, he would tell me what stuff she said about me too. So yeah, you got to tread lightly, because he's definitely, especially if you're trying to make the situation work. I mean, these are for people that are trying to make the situation work. But if you're not trying to make the situation work, listen, if I could go backwards, oh, I would have gave her every bit a piece of mine. But I honestly thought that, my ex was eventually going to just have my side, and he was going to see it where I was coming from, and he was going to put his foot down and be like, all right, ma, enough is enough. Like, let me live my adult life. Let me make my own decisions. If they're wrong, let me learn from them, but let me be. Let us adult, and not only when they want to take control over the child, they also want to take control over you. And when that doesn't work out, definitely disposable. So that's just how that goes. They feel like they can definitely give their child all the happiness that they need to give their child, and the child don't need nothing else unless it's on their terms, which is mind blowing to me. So yeah, those are some of the things that I've learned in that process. Yeah, you just definitely got to tread lightly. They trust their mom so much, it's just so hard to get them to see anything different, even if they witness it with their own eyes. Yeah, because that adult relationship, they have to establish that adult relationship, and until they establish the adult relationship within that, the mom and son, from like mom and son to mother and a grown man, like, until they establish that relationship, that man would never get the respect that he deserves, because he deserves that type of respect. And once he gets the respect, then you'll get the respect. I remember my ex telling me one time, like, listen, she don't respect me, she ain't gonna respect you. And he was okay with he was okay with, I don't know, with her disrespecting him. I still don't understand that to this day. And it was just little things. Like I said, when you see the red flags, don't ignore them. I remember one time we were on our way to Atlantic City, and you can check out from the TV. And instead of him wanting to figure it out on his own with the directions right on a dresser, he was like, I'm just going to my mother. I asked her how you check out. I'm like, you gonna call your mother? Like, we are in our mid-30s. Like, figure it out, but the crippling of it all, red flags, they still washing their clothes, they still feeding, packing their lunch, you know what I mean? They don't give them no privacy, they still opening up their mail. I mean, no privacy at all. So I think in my case, like I said, I'm more of an observant person. But I pay attention to everything, and I don't speak immediately on how I feel, but I'm definitely observant. And if you're saying something slick out your mouth, you ain't got no business saying, out of respect. Like, I'm just a respectful person. Like, I'm not to disrespect nobody's mother. So she said some crazy things. If you watch some of my old videos, she said some crazy things, and at the time, I wish, because considering the fact that it didn't work out, I wish I really would have just gave it to her. But I wish I would have just gave it to her, but because of that, I'm going to continue being blessed. And that's how God has raised me. My mother didn't raise me, but God did, to respect others. So I did my best. I think I did very, very, very well, because like he said, she didn't respect him, so she didn't respect me. So she was off the wall with it. And when she really wanted me out of there, when I caught on to the fact that she was a narcissist, and I knew what time it was after that. Like, oh, you a narc. So, like, I already know what time it is now. Like, I'm blowing up your spot. Like, I found you out. So, once I found you out, I really had to go. So, this lady was jumping through hoops, like, and basically told him, like, listen, if you marry her, I'm going to disown you, and who wants their mom to disown them? You know what I mean? So, he was willing to stay in a relationship for some time, not being married. Like, that wouldn't even make sense. Like, so what am I just hanging out with you? Like, so yeah, so all in all, I say that to say, just don't waste your time, because time is very, 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 very precious. Be with someone that is willing to go for bat for you, because when these parents pass away, and if they pass away in the order that they're supposed to before their children, you're left with your significant other. It's only you left and that significant other. You're growing old with that significant other. I'm sure when she got married, or when your in-laws got married, or the boyfriend that you're dating, parents got married, nobody told them they couldn't marry who they married. They chose to marry who they wanted to marry, or they chose that person because that's the person that they wanted to spend the rest of their life with. People need to understand, yes, we bring these kids into this world, but their choices are their choices, because it's their life. Yes, you can give them the tools that they need in this world, because life skills is very important. But once you give them life skills, you have to trust that they're going to do what they have to do to become who they need to become in this world, and make the decisions that they need to make. Even sometimes we all have to make mistakes. There's no way of, you can prevent mistakes, but realistically, nobody's living in this life without making no mistakes at all. You have to make mistakes, and that's how you're going to learn, and that's how you're going to grow. um yeah, so I guess overall, this message is also for parents that are raising young boys. Like, raise these boys to be men. Raise these boys to be confident, to even stand by how they feel and stick up for themselves, even if it's against you, respectfully. Once again, respectfully. There's a way to stand up for yourself respectfully. There is a way. Like, you don't have to be disrespectful, but once you become an adult, you have your own mind, you have your own boundaries, you're taking care of yourself. Like, respectfully, you should be able to say what you want to say, and it should be respected. It shouldn't just be like, nah, I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say. What I'm saying is correct, because nobody's correct. Nobody's 100% right about everything in life. Yeah, if you're dating a mama's boy, give it up, because it's not gonna change unless you can deal with how they move. You really is just gonna have to, you know, roll with the punches. Do things how they've been doing it, because this is their routine. This is what they do. Because once you're gone, it's gonna be the next person. They're going, love on the next person in the beginning, and see if they can control that person. If they can't control that person is a problem too. Or there's something, you become a problem. Or there's something they gotta tell everybody around them. Now you're a problem. You're making their son not like them. You're making their son not love them. You're stopping their son from coming to see them. Like, everything becomes a problem when that's not even the case. Like, that's definitely really, like, not the case. And even if you're like, because let me tell you something, I used to push my ex, like, go see your mother. Matter of fact, we'll pick up some food. Like, I would help him pick out nice cards or nice gifts, like, especially when I didn't want to be bothered, because there was a time I used to go over there, but then I just was like, nah, I need to protect my peace, my anxiety. I'm not going over there anymore. unless it's like necessary, because I really had no issues with his dad. I loved his dad. Like, I loved his dad. Oh, such a kind man. But she didn't deserve him neither. So, it's unfortunate that he got stuck with a woman like that. But, things happen. And that's just that. Since then I wouldn't say speak, but it was like kind of like a text. It was like a closure kind of text, like, oh, you never know what you got till it's gone type text. Nobody give a damn. I don't really give a damn anymore. Yeah, because why do you have to know when it's gone to know what you have? I mean, I guess that is a thing, but yeah, I don't know. I feel no need to keep communication open in life anymore. I've dated you for like how many years, so why waste another second? My overall outcome I wanted it to be marriage and children, and my overall outcome, but I realized looking back on it that every situation would have been a problem. Like, when I had a baby, she would have been like, oh, well, y'all gotta discuss me, tell me when y'all gonna do this, or oh no, I'm gonna pick everything out for your baby shower, or everything would have been an issue. Like, oh no, if I can't watch the kids, then that's gonna be a problem. Like, everything just revolved around her. Even my own birthday, she was mad I didn't want to spend my birthday with her. Like, it was just a lot. So yeah, in the end, to go so hard and deal with so much anxiety and trying to convince your significant other, like, hello, like, I'm here for you, it's me and you against the world, trying to convince them that they're not being treated right. um that's the kind of person that person would need, like that, actually, a person that would stand up for them. But if they're not willing to stand on your side too, from the outside looking in, and create healthy relationships between you and the parents, then I don't know what else to say, because realistically the parents would have to buckle down. You set your boundaries, the parents would have to buckle down, and if they really want that relationship to be able to come around when they want to, or all the time, then they will buckle down and understand, listen, I gotta fall back. These are adults, these are not children I'm talking to. But yeah, God bless anybody that's going through that situation. So I don't think I'm missing anything, but as years later, I'm actually at peace with everything that happened. I mean, I wish I really would have, put her into place, but God will handle that. I trust God, and I also trust God that I pray that one day he does snap and wake up and realize, like, wow, I could have had everything I ever wanted in life a long time ago if it wasn't for me deciding to just listen to all my mother's choices and decisions. You know what? Actually, one of the last things that he did tell me to was, like, I blame my mother for my relationship issues because she was supposed to show me what, who and what who and what not to date, like when it came, and what kind of woman to date, or what I should be looking for in a woman and stuff like that. And I was like, your mother was supposed to be teaching you that? Like, that says a lot. That says that the mother is the mother and the father, because I feel like the father, if anything, should have been giving him some type of advice. But that's neither here nor there. I have moved on. I'm in a happy relationship, and I don't got no mama issues. I love his mom. I actually love his mom. Plan on doing her hair next week. Like, we good. I ain't got no issues. Um, that's just that. So, all right, guys. Speak to you soon. I'm gonna make some more videos. Bye.